I'm Adam Sessler, and I'd like to welcome you to Hockey Inside Out, the show where we talk about hockey even in the summertime when it's 30 degrees outside. Boy, we need to get a life. Let's take a look at what we're going to be talking about on this week's episode. Number 1, what do you think of John Tortorella's criticism of Max Pacioretty after Saturday night's loss? Number 2, what are your impressions of Shea Weber after watching him play with Team Canada? Number 3, now that he's back, can Canadian fans expect Carey Price to be the same goalie he was before his knee injury? Number 4, we asked the same question about Jeff Petry. How much of an impact will a healthy Petry have on the team this year? And finally, how should the Habs honor the retirement of Scott Gomez? Just kidding, that's not a real question. Let's meet our panel. I met this man for the first time in studio today, and I said to him, Mr. Nilan, I've been a huge fan of yours. I've been following your career for years, and I'm absolutely thrilled that we're going to be working together. Do you mind if I call you Knuckles? And he said, well, my friends call me Knuckles. You can call me Sir. Chris Nilan, everyone. Described as an evil genius by most of his enemies, he can often be found late night at the Gazette offices, wandering around, mumbling to himself, wait until they feel the wrath of Stu Cowan. You don't want to get on this man's bad side, trust me. Stu Cowan, everyone. She's a CBC sports correspondent and an ardent squirrel enthusiast. She keeps about 7 to 8 squirrels in her apartment as pets. She brought her scrapbook in today to show everyone at the office her furry little friends. Can we get a little bit of that on the screen? Oh, there you go. So, is this from your personal scrapbook, Andie?
If you knew how much I detest squirrels, it would be even funnier, actually.
Okay.
They've ruined my garden.
Well, okay. So maybe you shouldn't keep them as pets, according to my mind. Andie Bennett, everyone. In Saturday night's 5-2 United States loss to Team Canada in the World Cup scrimmage round, Max Pacioretty logged just over 10 minutes of ice time, was a -2, and had 1 shot on net and 1 hit, in which he was directly quoted after the hit as saying, "Owie, my shoulder hurts." He was relatively ineffective on the ice, and when asked about his play during the post-game press conference, U.S. head coach John Tortorella said that he thought that Pacioretty's play was okay, but that he needs to give him some more reasons to give him more minutes. Ouch. He also said that he's a really good player, a great kid, but we just have to get a little bit more out of him, which is probably the nicest thing that John Tortorella has ever said about anyone in his whole entire life. My God, people are saying this is criticism? Max Pacioretty can do no wrong in the eyes of anyone who coaches him, and everyone in charge of any organization he's ever been a part of absolutely loves him. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. What do you think about John Tortorella's criticism about Max Pacioretty after Saturday night's loss?
I didn't think it was so much of a criticism. I mean, it was critical, but I think he was asked a question and he told the truth. And Max didn't really play well the first 2 games, and he needs to give more. And I think it was probably a good idea by Tortorella, because I think Max is the kind of guy who might play better when he's angry.
Does he get angry? Does Max Pacioretty get angry?
I think he can. And I think he basically he got a message out early in the tournament that he needs more out of him, and we'll find out as the tournament goes along if Max performs like that.
I certainly didn't have a problem with it. Tortorella was asked a question about a player. He answered it. I think he probably wasn't as tough on Max as he probably could have been, or the way he used to be. I think there's been some changes in Tortorella over the past couple years. And Max, quite frankly, 1 shot on net. He's not going to get the same minutes he does when he's here with the Canadians. And he has to give the coach more, or he's going to sit.
When you look at those stats that you just read out, why would you expect a coach to say anything else other than what he said? Of course you expect more out of a player like Max Pacioretty. And I think people love to kind of hate Torts, and I used to find him very entertaining. Now I find it a little tiresome. But I agree, he's changing a little bit. He's softened compared to how he was a few years ago, absolutely. But at the same time, he also is one to, in a way, use the media. He says things about his players to the media, and sometimes uses that as a way to get response from them. So perhaps this was one of those tactics.
I found it nice that a coach answered a question honestly. I mean, many coaches were on press conferences and they just say the cliche and whatever else. He said exactly what he thought about Max Pacioretty.
Are you alluding to being used to a coach who does not speak honestly, Stu? Is that what
the franchise?
You're getting at?
Well, in defense of coaches, when you have to answer questions for 82 games and some of them are so stupid, I don't blame them for being cliche.
Okay, are you alluding to a coach that you know who's stupid?
No, it's stupid questions.
Stupid questions.
Stupid questions, okay. Continuing in the same vein, what are your impressions of Shea Weber after watching him play for Team Canada these last few games?
Well, my impression of the guy has always been I've had a high impression of him. The kid, when he played in Nashville, was an incredible player for them. Had a tough playoff last year. You know, he got run at right away against Team USA by Kessler, and that kind of got things started. But my impression really of him hasn't changed. He's a leader. He's a guy who moves the puck. He's a good team guy, and I think he's a welcome addition to the Montreal Canadiens.
I think he came as advertised. He's a tough guy, right? I mean, the U.S. team was going after Sidney Crosby, and he got right in there and tried to put an end to that. We were all worried about Carey Price being hurt in this tournament, and then it's Kessler who runs Weber from behind, and if he wasn't such a big guy, now you wonder if he would have been hurt. But I think he comes as advertised, and the Canadiens have needed some toughness, and they've needed some leadership, and I think he's a guy who's going to bring that.
Yeah, I agree. That's what we heard about him. That's what we've seen him in Nashville, and also that big shot that a lot of the young guys who they've commented on that as well, that, you know, look, P.K. Subban's gone, let's move on. This is the guy that's going to come in, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do as a Montreal Canadian, and his play with Team Canada has done nothing but reinforce that.
What I'm looking forward to seeing, though, is when he plays Team North America, because when Team North America played Europe, and Chara looked so slow on his own end, and one of the knocks on Weber, people say that maybe he's a little slow. So I think when they play Team North America, we're going to have a good idea of whether Shea Weber is slow or not, and how he can keep up with these young guns, because this team is a lot of fun to watch.
Even Team Russia, I mean, that's going to be a good test for them as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're going to take a look at a video that I shot just this past weekend. The Montreal Canadiens have had such a horrible record these past couple of months that Habs fans will probably believe that the organization will do anything to get their team to start winning again. I'm going to take advantage of that. The organization flew in Justin Bieber to have him perform for the team tonight in their dressing room. How do you feel like that's going to affect their game tonight?
Not at all. Justin Bieber is not going to help the team in any ways.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. Justin Bieber is a distraction, and he's useless.
What? That's the first time I hear that.
Yeah, well, it's a fact.
Oh, yeah? Okay. He's going to sing, or...?
He's going to sing and dance for them in their dressing room and try to inspire them.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Well, I feel Beaver probably will have good advice for the Habs, and I think they're going to come out flying tonight.
As the inspiration from the photo that was him of naked, then that would work maybe, but...
Okay, I don't know if he's going to get naked for the team. I think he's just going to sing a song.
I'm not sure about that. Is that true?
Yes.
That I hope it will make a difference, but I don't think so.
He actually tweeted earlier on in the week saying that he thinks that the Habs aren't doing well because they're not believing in themselves enough. How do you feel about that statement?
I don't think they do not believe in themselves.
No, he said believe.
Oh.
Can I get some bars of the song Sorry? Do you mind?
Honestly, I couldn't even sing it for you. I don't know it. You can do it justice.
I have the lyrics in my pocket, so it's not really an excuse. Here you go.
Is it too late now to say sorry? 'Cause I'm missing more than your body.
Is it too late now to say sorry?
That's pretty much it.
'Cause I'm missing more than just your body.
Is it too late now to say sorry? 'Cause I'm missing more than just your body.
Oh, you didn't even need the cheat sheet there. You know the lyrics. Nice.
Is it just too late to say sorry? 'Cause I know,
I'm missing more than your body. Let's try again.
That I let you down.
No, you're mixing up the lyrics.
I'm just missing your body.
I'm missing more than just your body.
I'm just missing more.
No, I'm missing more than just your body.
I'm missing just more than your body.
I'm missing more than just your body.
I'm missing just your body.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. What Carey Price was able to accomplish in the 2014-2015 season was one Stanley Cup short of a beautiful fairy tale. He led the NHL in wins, goals against average, and save percentage. He broke too many Montreal franchise records to name. He swept the NHL awards like no goalie before him, and then at the beginning of the next season, he led the Habs to a glorious 10-game opening win streak that had people all over Montreal saying, "Patrick who?" And then on November 25th, the man sustained a lower body injury, and a Great Depression swept over our city, and we have not been the same ever since. Carey Price's first professional game back was last Friday night's World Cup loss to the U.S. that saw him allow 4 goals. That and the fact that the man hasn't played professional hockey in almost a year begs me to ask the question, is there something we should, be worried about? Or is it like no big deal? Can Canadian fans expect Carey Price to be the same goalie he was before the injury? Or is that insane? What do you think?
Well, one of the 4 goals was an empty netter, so it was three beat him, and I think could be for any athlete coming back from 10 months off. He's not going to be himself right away. He might not be himself after a month. It'll be interesting to see if at the end of this tournament, Carey Price is still the starting goalie for Team Canada, because I think you're asking a lot of a guy who hasn't played in 10 months, especially a goalie, where timing is so important to come back and all of a sudden be the goalie who was before. I don't think that's going to happen. I think eventually he will get there, but I think it's going to be a process. As Michel Therrien likes to say, the process is going to be a process of Carey Price getting back to where he was.
I certainly think, the time off was really good for him. He's healed well. The whole thing with goaltenders, any player coming back from a major injury like that, is to get your timing back. I'm sure he's in decent shape when he came to camp, but it's moving east-west, it's getting up and down. I'm not worried about him at all in the short term. Long term, in the way he plays, there's some history with that knee now. It's not like he's a stand-up goaltender. He's going to be going up and down. He's going to be in a position to have to make some of those spectacular saves when at times, he lets the puck hit him, but at other times, like the one he got hurt on, he really had to stretch out for. That I worry about down the road.
I mean, anyone post-injury, you got to worry, right? Everything's up in the air because you don't know, especially something like this where they obviously rushed him after that first injury, came back, re-injured
They didn't rush him.
And, sorry.
They did not rush him.
They didn't rush him.
Carey Price went in and told the coach he was 100%, he was ready to go.
Every player tells them they're 100% and ready to go.
So they have to go with that. The doctor sees the player. He says, I'm fine. What can the coach go on?
I mean, there's got to be...
He has to go on what the doctor says and the player says. Whether, the coach sits here and says, well, he's lying to me. I'm not going to play him. And then you get a pissed off goaltender, and he was insistent on the fact that he was healthy.
Well, if he was insistent about going back, and I guess there's not much you can do, but nevertheless, the results were he went back too soon. So maybe they didn't rush him, maybe he rushed himself, but he was rushed back.
He rushed himself.
He rushed himself back in. So that's going to make you a little bit nervous.
It's like PK got himself traded. No one else did.
I know you're so sad to see PK go.
Big PK fan, Chris?
Huge.
Okay. Chris loves PK, everyone.
I'm moving to Nashville.
Well,
I'm such a big fan.
With the injury
moving
thing.
to Nashville, wow.
Such a big fan.
Okay.
With the injury thing, though, Chris, but anyway, you're coming off your own summer injury still with your ankle. How much will it be in the back of his mind, though?
I don't know. I don't know if it'll be in the back of his mind. Listen, he's going to go play. If he's thinking about it, so it's like any player. You come back thinking about an injury, you're trying to protect yourself. It's not a good thing. I don't think it's going to be there at all. He's just going to go play, and God, if he hurts it again, then oops. They're in trouble.
Yeah, it's over for them if that happens. Speaking of injuries and Habs players, Jeff Petry is healthy. He says he's ready for the new season. What impact do you think a healthy Jeff Petry will have on the Habs this year?
Go ahead, Andy. What's your...
I mean, he had a huge impact on the team when he came and he was healthy with the team. It's so hard to look at last season and see which, there were so many injuries. Jeff Petry was a part of that, but I think a big part of that puzzle that hurt that team. He's such a reliable guy. He came in and obviously made a difference on the defense corps. And, I think it'll be a big factor having him back in there, especially when you have a guy like Shea Weber in the mix as well.
He was like the forgotten man last year.
Exactly.
All the talk's been about PK and Carey and Gallagher and everybody else. And people forget Jeff Petry. When Bergevin made that deal to acquire him, that's everybody was raving.
What did he get in, like 50 games, 50-some games?
I think he's been the forgotten guy, and I think he will be huge with this team going forward, having him back healthy.
Yeah, it's a big body. He can skate, he can move the puck, you got a great shot, you can put him on the power play, penalty kill, so he's certainly going to help. I like this team this year moving forward. The moves they made, I think Bergevin bringing in Shaw, Weber, we got to see how Radulov pans out. I mean, every year there's like a project, right? And Radulov is a project. But all that's been said about this kid, if, he has matured, he has a family now, a little baby, he still has to come here to Montreal and live for a while and realize that there are strip joints here and there is Buona Notte, and he's got to be careful. And that could be the move of the offseason by Bergevin.
Wouldn't it be a great reality show if you had him live with Michel Therrien during the season?
I
would watch that.
It would be a sick reality show. Do you think, Chris, Radulov will exceed people's expectations and score a lot of goals?
I think he'll listen, if he keeps his nose clean away from the ice and he's not a problem in the room, I think he can certainly score 30 goals for this hockey team. And a much-needed 30 goals, mind you.
Okay, and when you say keep his nose clean, you mean like if he blows his nose, he doesn't get a cold?
Stay out of trouble off the ice.
I don't really get that reference, but okay. We're going to have to say goodbye now. It's been a great show. I want to thank everyone here. Stu Cowan, Chris Nilan, Andie Bennett. That's all for this week's Hockey Inside Out. We come up with new episodes every Thursday at 8 in the morning, but you know, it's the internet, so you can watch us anytime after that. Check us out at hockeyinsideout.com. Follow us on social media and leave comments in the section below because we want to know what you think about what we discussed on today's show. I'm Adam Susser. Goodbye.